Good evening, everybody. BTMReview.com here with another Retro Rampage podcast, episode 24. A couple weeks ago, maybe it's a couple weeks ago, they've been talking about Tony Hawk 5, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 5. The game has been in development for a little while, but I think it was it a little after E3 when they actually released footage of the game? So like over a week ago?
Yep.
Yeah.
I think so.
By the way, that's Zach there. Pardon my my rudeness. As if it would be anybody else, you know.
I would have just said nothing much, man, like I always do.
It's your catchphrase. It's your no sweat my pet, or my did I do that, or my cut it out, you know. But anyway, so Tony Hawk making a comeback made me sort of think about other things. It made me think about Rock Band as well, because with Tony Hawk and Rock Band, these are both two games that had their heyday. They had their era where they just reigned, and they had a whole bunch of games copying them and trying to capitalize on it. Granted, they were kind of two different eras. Tony Hawk started in the N64 PlayStation era, kind of went into the PS2 era, and vice versa. And, you know, and then in that whole era, the PS2 Xbox era, we had the Guitar Heroes and the Rock Bands. Anyway, they're both trying to make a comeback. They're both trying to relive their glory days with sequels. We'll start with Tony Hawk. Personally, I love Tony Hawk.
Me too.
I loved 1, 2, and 3. Fuck 4.
I loved 4.
Yeah, I don't know. I just couldn't get into it. I think it was past my time. And
Always a magic bum, dude.
And then screw off the spin-off games, the Tony Hawk's Underground.
I love Tony Hawk Underground. That's probably my favorite.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Wow. And then there was a whole bunch of other games, and I mean,
second one sucked. Underground too.
They were beating. You know when they were beating on death's door when they came out with that motion control one.
Yep.
Downhill.
So you kind of said that wrong because Tony Hawk was there for the entire PlayStation 2, and it even lasted a little bit into the 360.
Help me out here. Okay, so. Now, there was a Wii one, Downhill Jam, right?
That's the one.
That's the one where you're on the skateboard?
Yeah.
And everybody hated that abortion, didn't they?
Yeah. Dude, people just... It seems like people didn't realize for a while that when you play a game, you don't want to actually have to stand up and do stuff.
No,
exactly. A lot of people come home from work and just want to relax and play a game.
And that's me. But that was... To me, that was the point. That was the game where it was like, okay, I think they've overstayed their welcome. Because... Yep. It was kind of the transition, because I had a buddy that was all about the Tony Hawk games, and he was excited, and he got it for Christmas or whatever, and he was actually excited. But at the same time, I'm like, is anybody else excited for this? Like, I didn't know anybody else, but it tells me there was a couple of hardcores that were still kind of transitioning, just kind of finding out that it's done, that were playing it, and I just watched him in his apartment play this thing and struggle because the controls are horrible. He didn't know what to do, and he looked stupid. He looked dumb trying to balance on this skateboard.
The whole game was based around one level from the first Tony Hawk game, wasn't it? This downhill.
Yeah. I love that level in the first game.
Yeah.
You know, I love that first Tony Hawk I love the Dreamcast version. I played the ever living shit out of the Dreamcast version. But anyway, so a Tony Hawk game that goes back to the basics, with basic functionality, mixed in with a little bit of the modern touch, obviously online play and stuff like that. That sounds like a win for me. Yeah. I mean, that they're addicting games. They were games that you could just literally turn on. You play, you do a couple of missions or whatever, and you don't have to invest too much time in. They were fun.
Yeah, they were like a event for me growing up. Like I remember my friend Derek used to come over like every weekend, and we'd rent up a Tony Hawk game, see how far we could get.
Yeah, they were a lot of fun, and those are my kind of games these days anyway. But like, I was excited for Tony Hawk 5. I thought the idea was great. Anyway, what I want to talk about is they finally released the footage, and then people are up in arms about how shitty it looks. It looks like a PlayStation 3 game at best. It doesn't, and honestly, I looked at it, and it kind of looks like an early PlayStation 3 game. It really does.
It looks like the HD version they put out, where they kind of they did like a...
It was the I have that where it's the best. Yeah. I played that for a little while too, and it's got the best of the first two games. Yeah. And then they released a download pack for the 3.
Yeah.
Which I love Tony Hawk 3. To be honest with you, Tony Hawk 3 is my favorite.
Yeah.
And I know everybody loves 2. I mean, I love the first 3. I love the first 3 a lot.
That was one of the first PlayStation 2 games.
Yeah. Well, Tony Hawk 3 was. Tony Hawk 3 is the best. I love the soundtrack of Tony Hawk 3. It's got a really cool soundtrack.
I always like all the soundtracks. I always get used to them and just.
Well, I mean, I know they're just a product of their era for the most part, but
they are.
Well, Tony Hawk 3 started to dig deep. We had stuff like Motorhead and stuff like that, and you had like, I think Cotton Amash, Anthrax, Public Enemy was on there. So it started to dig with older songs. And in Tony Hawk 2, you had like Power Man 5000 and all this shitty alternative radio rock at the time. And you know, I know it had like Guerrilla Radio or something like Rage Against the Machine on there.
Yeah, that was one.
So I don't know. It wasn't so much.
Like I remember the first one had that Superman song. It was like a.
Oh yeah, it had like
like
Goldfinger.
a ska punk thing.
Yeah, Goldfinger.
Yeah.
And yeah, you had that, which, you know what? I hate that kind of music, but I loved it in Tony Hawk. Because it was just synonymous with Tony Hawk. But I loved it, man, because before I had the Dreamcast version, I played the ever-living shit out of the... do you remember the PlayStation Jam Packs? Demo discs? Man, we bought
$5
you buy the newest Jam Pack, and I love those, man, because I used to play those demo discs so much, and I got so much fun out of them, even though you could only play, like, they were either timed or, like, you could only play a couple of levels or something. And they were only $5, man. My dad would buy them all the time, and he thought they were great values.
Oh, dude, speaking of like, the PlayStation demo discs and Beautiful Joe, like we were talking about earlier, did you remember, like, how Beautiful Joe 2 had a like, on the PlayStation demo disc, it had, like, a glitch in it that would erase everything on your memory card or something like that?
No, I don't.
I remember that.
That would have pissed me off, man. But, I mean, so I played Tony Hawk, the first one, as a demo first on the PlayStation. And it was cool because they gave you, I want to say they just gave you the warehouse level.
Yep.
And they only let you play as Bob Burnquist or Tony Hawk.
Yeah.
And basically, you just did the 2-minute run, rake up as much points in 2 minutes. And they only gave you... they literally only gave you 2 songs. I think they gave you that Goldfinger song you were talking about, and they gave you Primus. You know, Jerry was a race car driver. And I played just because I got so much fun because they gave you actually just the 2-minute run. You know, it's what you get in the game, but you had to do the same level, and it was just I had so much fun just raking up points, man. Just raking up points. And I played that for over a year, man. I played the hell out of that demo. But anyway, so people are up in arms about the graphics, and you know, I'm not a graphics whore. We've already talked about this in extent, how people are spoiled these days. But I mean, there's a little bit of room to say, you know, what the fuck? This is...
Yeah, do we know if they were actually showing like stills from a PlayStation 3 build, or was it actually the PlayStation 4 version? Because they're probably putting it out on both systems.
No, I don't think it is. I think it's just going... I think isn't it just gonna be on the... I don't know.
Huh,
but
maybe.
I don't know, but I'm pretty confident that was the game regardless. Okay. But it was like a little bit like, because I think that was part, I mean, don't quote me on this, but I think that was one of the parts that kind of pisses you off, is I think the game looks like a shitty PS3 game, and it wasn't even going to be on PS3.
Oh yeah.
You know, so it's like, okay, you know, can we win here? And like I said, the game will probably be fun. It'll probably have nothing to do to affect the gameplay or whatever, but I could see how people will be a little disappointed because it's been a while since Tony Hawk has had a proper installment, and I could see how there might be excitement to see, like, oh man, like a really something to set it apart from those original ones. So I don't know. I kind of did the what the fuck to myself a little bit, like, 'cause I was just shocked. I'm not saying the game will be fun, but I was like, I was really surprised. But yeah, it does. It looks like the download version, which that HD game was pretty fun. It was giving me, like, I don't know what it was about that game, but like it was actually making me motion sick.
Oh, really?
The original ones didn't, but I play that HD one and it just makes me motion sick. I don't know what it is about that, and not like Tony Hawk 3 or 1 or 2 that don't do it, but there's something about it that just makes me sick and I can't play it for too long. I don't know what it is, but maybe it's the fact that Metallica jumped on board, you know, because they released the pack where you can download James Hetfield and Robert Trujillo as playable characters
for the HD one.
Yeah. You can download them. Anyway, they put in one of their songs off their last album, All Nightmare Long. And I don't know what it is about this game, because it's the best of 1, 2, and then they added the 3-pack. But they couldn't secure the rights for all the old songs.
Yeah.
Because they would have to pay out the pony again and all that stuff. So literally, you hear like, it's got like 4 or 5 songs, and it replays them in loops. And for some reason, you could do this in the old games, you couldn't skip the tracks from the menu.
Oh yeah.
No, and so they got Power Man 5000 to give them that song back, so you hear that. I think you do hear the Goldfinger song, which is cool.
Yep.
But it's just a few songs. But they play that Metallica song, it seems, and I like that song, but it's like every other song is that song, and you can't change it. It's just like the randomized order of these few songs you get. Like you might hear the same song over and over and over again. Like you just land on it. So that's fucking annoying. But anyway, Tony Hawk, I don't think it's going to make a comeback. I think it had its day. I think the game will be fun. I think it's going to please people, that are our age that do welcome it. But I don't think it's going to reach a new audience,
Yeah.
I really don't. I mean, does anybody skateboard anymore? Is that even popular?
I don't think so.
Is anybody even listening to me? Are there any horse socks?
Yeah, I haven't seen it happening very often anymore.
But then again, I'm not hanging around middle schools, and I hope you aren't either, Zach, so I don't know what's going on.
No, I'm not. I live next to one, though.
And you're not allowed to go 100 yards from one. No, but, okay, so there's that one. That's my stance on it. I think it'll appeal to people like me and you, but it's not going to capture a new generation. I just don't think it is. I mean, it's not like kids are all of a sudden going to start wearing Jinko jeans again.
Actually,
wallet chains.
Did you see that they're trying to bring those back?
It's stupid, man. It's absolutely dumb.
I guess I don't think they're going to be back.
Pants?
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be baggy anymore. I think they're going to try to kind of appeal to like a style that's going on now.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's like I don't know what's going on with these extremes. At first, it's like technology is all about getting smaller and smaller and smaller. The smaller and more practical, the better. Now it's all about who's got the biggest dick, who's got the biggest phone. We got to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And it's like the same thing.
That's not a phone. That's a small television.
Exactly. Jeans. It's like they were literally parachute pants. These big giant ass parachute pants. And now it's like people are wearing skinny jeans that are nut hugging, and they just look so. It's always got to be some extreme. There's no like middle ground. It's got to be extreme. So anyway, that was my stance on Tony Hawk. I don't know. I don't think it's going to capture a new generation.
Oh yeah, I actually wrote down one to say in the last episode that I forgot to say, but I can actually throw it in here.
What's up?
A game that I'd like to see them bring back, since they're bringing back Tony Hawk and Rock Band, would be Road Rash.
Road Rash. How does
Remember those games?
Yeah. How does that fit in?
Well, we're talking about games that had their day.
Was Road Rash ever a big pop culture phenom like these two though?
I remember loving that game. I remember playing it with my friends just as much as I played Tony Hawk. Yeah, probably not though.
Yeah, I don't know. But I don't know. It's funny because like I never liked Rock Band. I never liked Guitar Hero. I never jumped on that craze. But I think the new Rock Band or whatever has a better chance at recapturing a little bit of a market than Tony Hawk does. Tony Hawk, it's been a little too long since it's been relevant.
Yeah.
Rock Band, I know it's kind of like being considered a comeback, but to me it feels like it's been like 2 years max. Like it feels like it was just around, wasn't it?
It's been a while.
I mean, so what's being...
I loved the first Guitar Hero. I'd play... like I remember I could beat every song on expert mode on the first one.
I had too much time on my hands.
But I remember like finding new bands and riffs that I was like, I need to learn that on real guitar. So I think that game really can like kind of get people into playing real guitar. Have you ever heard of Rocksmith, the game?
Yeah. That actually had my interest for about a second.
Yeah, I bought both of them.
Now, the second one, doesn't the second game actually have a band that'll play along with you or something that'll like kind of create the jam experience?
Yeah.
Does it really? Like, will it slow down with you or speed up? Or does it like just create a band, like you set the time signature, in the tempo and you have to follow it? Or how does that work?
I think it's all live.
So that stuff's pretty cool. And they tried doing something a little new with it. But I don't know. Like, what are they adding to Rock Band? It looks, I mean, as an outsider, it looks to me like the same old shit.
Yeah.
Like, are they adding something new to it?
I don't know. It's probably like, you know what, like, there's new consoles, let's put out these party games because I'm sure there's new kind of people that are gonna kind of want to get a hold of these. It's probably just kind of hoping that, it's been long enough, and we can kind of just do the same thing.
How many times do people got to buy brand new fucking plastic guitars and drum kits?
Yeah, well, people keep buying the same Call of Duty game, so
yeah, exactly, man. It's probably your same same market, but I mean, come on, man. Those things are a dime a dozen. Go on Craigslist. Everybody's fucking throwing in those old fucking Guitar Hero guitars. Just this will be in the lot too. Just take it, because you know, you go to somebody's house and they got a fucking million plastic guitars laying all over the place, and I don't want all that clutter, man. Like, let's make up our mind as society. Are we doing away with physical stuff and downloading everything on a small hard drive, or are we gonna have a bunch of fucking extra peripherals around our house, stubbing our toes? I don't know, man, but I just remember I had a roommate back when Rock Band was riding high, and Rock Band 2, I remember he texted me on Christmas like, we got Rock Band. I'm like, you got Rock Band, asshole. Like, I'm not playing with you. And then literally, this is all he did. He would come home drunk after he'd work and everything else, and I'd wake up, I'd hear that tapping on that drum. And I'm like, what? And he'd like come in my room drunk, like, play Rock Band with me. I'm like, no, go away. I'd throw shit at him, and he wrote me into playing up all night. Fucking, I don't know, man. It became so much of a standard to go over to somebody's house and they had a Rock Band kit in their living room. I don't know, man. I'm like, hey, man, anybody want to really jam? Does anybody want to like? Does anybody? I can bring over a real guitar.
Remember that episode of South Park?
Yeah.
Where the kid, he can play the Buckethead song acoustic.
Yeah,
and you just hear it clicking like.
Oh, it's so stupid. That was a funny. Isn't that the episode of, like, Steamy Nicks or no? I don't remember, but yeah, the Guitar Hero, where he had like Heroin Hero. He was getting addicted to it, but you know, whatever, man. I don't know, but as much as I'm not a fan of that stuff, that's because I was a musician years before. I played real guitar years before Guitar Hero came out. So my mind was elsewhere, but I do think that it'll actually have a better chance at capturing a market.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think it's been that long. So, but that also might hurt it too, since it hasn't been that long. To me, it's a sweet spot. It's like Tony Hawk. Yeah, you kind of miss it, but most people have forgotten about it. So the people that remember it miss it, but the majority of people don't even know what it is. Rock Band, I don't think anybody forgot about it. So is anybody going to miss it? I don't know. But you're excited about it.
Yeah, I'll play it. Did you see the, actually, you know what, I don't know if I will or not, because I'll have to buy a new guitar.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what, he's going to go to fucking Blockbuster and rent it? No, first of all, there is no Blockbuster. And even if you could, what are you going to do? They're going to rent you out all his drum kits and stuff like that? I don't know.
Yeah.
I just think it's funny when you have these, I mean, I'm not blaming them. I'm not blaming people like Tony Hawk for trying to cash in a little bit and see if you can, you know, strike lightning again, you know, but I just don't think it works out so well. History does repeat itself. Is
Neversoft coming back to do them?
I don't
remember their logos?
Yeah, the eyeball and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. Didn't Neversoft also do the Spider-Man games? Neversoft did the Spider-Man games on the PlayStation. There was Spider-Man, there was Enter Electro, Spider-Man 2, the ones that were on N64 and PlayStation, but
yeah.
whatever.
I want to say Neversoft was actually bought out by Activision. So
yeah,
I don't think they're around anymore.
I don't know. Any final thoughts or comments on it? I just thought it was kind of interesting to bring up, but I don't know. I just don't think that they're gonna capitalize.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna play the Tony Hawk game.
I'll play the Tony Hawk. I'm not gonna buy it straight off. I'll somehow demo it first and see how it tickles my fancy. And I really want them to rock my socks off with a huge soundtrack. And I hope we're in the era of nickel and diming. So what if they like start releasing all these soundtrack packs or paper use? You know what's gonna come. You know, now instead of getting career stats, you got to buy your stats. You know, hey, buy this skateboard that you're only going to be able to fucking see when you're doing like air tricks. Hey, let's buy this skin for Tony.
Remember when they started doing the thing where you could create a character and they had the PlayStation Eye toy?
Yeah.
And you could take a picture of yourself and put it on the character?
I do remember that.
I'm surprised they haven't like done stuff like that with the Kinect. And well, you think like that's the most simple thing they should do, and then it's like they never even thought about it.
I wish that feature would just come back. I don't know if somehow that cuts into the money with the whole microtransaction movement, but I miss stuff like Create a Fighter.
Yeah,
like in fighting games, it was really big back in the. You know, that was I remember that was a big selling feature for Soul Calibur 3, they had the Create a Fighter. And then you had like Mortal Kombat Armageddon, where that was like the best feature in the whole shitty game. Create a Fighter. And then nobody just wants to continue that. I don't know what it is. Is that giving fans a little too much for free?
That brings back memories of me and my friends used to rent like a WWF Attitude for the PlayStation 1, and we'd create fighters. And
that was so much fun doing that in like Warzone too. Warzone Attitude, I don't know. And they still do that. I don't know.
Making them look ridiculous, giving them like the goofiest intro music and when they come out.
Yeah. Oh, well, I mean, anyway, what is everybody else's thoughts on there? Are you going to be jumping on the nostalgic bandwagon of Tony Hawk or Rock Band? I don't know. Let us know. BTMreview.com, Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr for you kiddos out there. And be sure to subscribe, too, because if you don't subscribe, I'm going to give you all the shattered dreams. That was a Gold Dust reference. I was always Gold Dust in Warzone because I like to fucking give the shattered dreams. Kick you in the nuts.
Gold Dust.
Anyway, that was funny. I'm Aaron, and apparently that's Gold Dust over there. We'll check you guys out next week. Adios.